Speed.
Spooky episode time?
Spooky.
Look at the screen, audience. Look at that.
Spooky season.
Dancing skeletons, spider webs. You know what that means? That means Halloween.
It's spooky season.
Spooky season.
Hell
So, you may notice there are two default royalty-free PNG images instead of our faces. It's because we're going to do a reveal of our extremely low-effort, last-minute costumes that... For one of us, it could be called a costume. For the other one of us, it can be maybe considered a costume.
Not even.
But it's spooky themed, and so we're gonna do a big reveal, a grand reveal. So, are you ready to reveal?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, let me put on a piece of it that. This is jank. Okay.
Please bear with us. I know this intro it's hard.
It's the nature of the experience. Okay, it's part of it.
Yep.
Okay. Let me turn. We're gonna see it ourselves before they see us because I have to then turn off the images.
Right.
But okay. Let's turn on our cameras in 3, 2, 1. Shit. It's not loading. Oh, why?
Yeah, it's still filling up.
There it is. Good A. Let me... There it is. You
Yours
like
is
that?
actually like a costume. Mine's
Well,
just...
I actually own this and use it like for its practical purpose of sun blockage.
Right.
But you see why I have to take it off in a bit?
Yeah.
But I also... Okay, do you want to show off what you're wearing?
Sure. I'm gonna take that down so y'all can actually hear me. So I had actually intended, I had a good plan. I was gonna go out and buy a Ghostface costume from Scream. And then life said no, and I got real busy and couldn't find the time to go get it. So instead, I just put on whatever horror-themed stuff I have. Got an It hat, an It hoodie, and then a Jack Skellington face mask from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Are you rocking the shoes? You should have rocked the shoes.
I am rocking
Oh, I'm rocking shoes. I beat
the
you
Air
in that
Force
aspect.
Ones.
I'm gonna show off mine.
Right.
I have to take these off to do that. So I can't hear you, but I'll just still be talking. So just
All right,
don't
go
say
for it.
anything, or if you say anything, don't say anything insulting to me, please, because I can't hear.
No promises. No promises.
Okay, 1 second. So, I am rocking, of course, this big ass hat. It is a around the Revolutionary War era. They used these. This is so they'd pin it and make tricorns or bicorns. If you want to see what I'm talking about here.
Right.
But they also kept them flat for sunshade in the thing. So it's supposed to be like, I don't have a cowboy hat, so I'm like the low effort cowboy kind of. But I also got the gut, first of all.
The gut.
The shirt, the vest, and also...
Hey, completing the look.
the fucking boots, bro. You like that?
Hell yeah.
But since I can't have headphones on without having to look like a janky idiot, already gone. And I have a modern redneck hat to replace it with. And it says Winchester. So yeah.
You went from like it looked like an actual outfit, and now you just look like you're gonna call me a slur.
So I never wear all of this at once. It's always in parts.
Right.
For that exact reason.
Right.
This is for hunting. So during like non-rifle season, you can wear no orange. So I wear this to keep camo. And this is for the winter. This is for just clothing. And the boots are just because the boots are cool. But I never wear them all at once. Not usually for any reason. I just don't, because I don't think... we've talked about this before. Fashion-wise, I don't think about any of it. So, yeah. But So I'm
All right.
a low effort redneck, and you are a horror movie
Low
fan
effort.
who's going to say
Yeah.
something really bad about the new Michael Myers movie or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Got so many complaints. They're
I
just
really have
ruining.
issues with the plot. You know, the story doesn't hold together really well.
Uh,
Too many. It's honestly, I it those I'm my image of those movie reviewers that are like that are like they are putting too many SJW messages in it.
yeah, accurate, accurate.
They always do. They always pull that dumb card that makes no sense.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So we have a bit planned. Obviously, Halloween special.
a lot of notes here.
Cool time. It's a cool time of the year, and you've put um, some effort into making this a very special episode.
I have 4 full pages of stuff.
Hell yeah! Before we get into that, I do have one quick. I wanna say to the audience here. Firstly, you told me and the audience a couple episodes ago that this episode will now make this the longest running like podcast or project like this that you've ever done,
Yes, that is true.
which is awesome. We're making history. Obviously, this is the longest thing I've done like this. Um, Longest time we've devoted to sticking with one project, and I'm excited for where it's gone so far. Excited for what it could be. And I just wanted to take a moment here uh, to thank the audience for just supporting the channel. We're both really happy to be doing this. It's something we've talked about doing for a very long time. Um, so yeah, just big thanks to everyone who's watching. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Don't have much else to say, but wonderful.
We got the energy from it, you know, the vibe, and
Yeah, that's good.
I do want to say, like, I am very happy that we are still. I feel like the shirt's inside out. I'm very happy we are still doing it. This is, as he said, the longest running thing I've ever done. And while we may be, I'm gonna break our rule. I'm gonna address the size, right?
Okay.
While
Yep.
we may be
Hey, size doesn't
a
matter.
fledgling, right? We will eventually blossom. And so
Right.
this is a mod. Shout out to our 12th sub. Subbed like
No,
yesterday,
no,
you
no,
know.
cut it. We're moving on. You
You're
can't
a
give actual
homie.
numbers. We
Oh,
sound
I've dated it.
so
I've dated it. It's
we,
ruined. No,
we
no.
sound so sad.
I know it's great. I love it. It's fun, even if it's like I could be 0 people could watch. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Like it's
no.
just an excuse to do, especially like this episode, it's an excuse to do dumb shit. Just
Sure, yeah.
for the sake of doing dumb shit. Talking
Hell
about dumb
yeah.
shit, hanging out with the homies, and
Yeah.
getting shit done, keeping that grind, keeping it 100.
Yeah.
So yeah, with all that sappy stuff out of the way,
You receive no more sappy Adrian for the rest of the entire podcast.
mean Adrian time to
Yep.
insult your family, call your
Yep.
mom fat or something. Uh, I have some. I have some festive things to talk about today.
You know what? Let's get right into it.
You
I'm
want to
ready.
get right into it?
I want to get right into it.
I'm gonna start with something that we've talked about before. We've talked about for a length before.
Right.
Horror movies, horror TV, horror as a genre.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to linger on it too long, given we have touched on it a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with, I don't remember which episode we talked about like our favorite types of horror. But I was wondering if there's anything you've seen recently or have like gone back and rewatched that you want to talk about. Anything impactful about that?
So this kind of like bleeds into the idea I had for like a topic to talk about. So I'm gonna just throw mine out there real quick, my little mini game for this, and then
Sounds
we'll
good.
kind of do both together because I think they
Hope
fit
to
together very
God
well.
it's not my mini game. I put a lot of effort into these.
Um, I'm gonna ruin your whole plans just by offering shit that's so contrary to what you were expecting. My little game that I thought of right before we pressed record was just as a celebration of the horror genre as a whole, because it's something, of course, I'm super huge into. I think you've expressed that you're at least relatively interested in horror. We've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, what is your first, favorite, and last of horror movies specifically, but you can talk about shows if you want. So, what's the first thing that got you into horror? What's your favorite piece of horror media? And then what's the most recent one you've watched?
Ooh, that's hard. Okay.
And I feel like this bleeds into what you were talking about how like anything we've watched recently and stuff like that we can talk about.
For sure, for sure. So first ever that like I was like, oh, I like this.
Or just yeah, the first your first exposure to the horror genre.
I don't remember my first ever exposure. I was probably like fucking like 12. I don't know.
Mm,
Probably like saw on. I think my first ever exposure was actually my dad watching a Halloween marathon on
mm,
TV, and I walked in and I was like, "What's this?" And he's like, "This is Halloween. This is like one of the I don't know one of the many sequels that are all Garbo."
right.
And I remember distinctly in that I was sitting there watching it with him as he's like drifting off because he can't watch movies without sleeping,
Mm.
and some dude is like he gets a electrical cable like put in him and he pops like a fucking balloon,
Yeah.
which I was like, wow, that's. I wasn't even scared. I was like, wow, cool. And then I walked off, and
Mm,
did whatever I was doing. So that's my first ever that I can remember exposure to like horror movies, I guess.
hmm
And I didn't even watch it. I just walked in and watched a guy pop and turn into a pile of guts, and then walked out. My favorite ever. I'll probably do my most recent before my favorite ever. So my most
Sure.
recent one I've watched has to be. Oh shit. Um, I don't. I kind of don't want to say because it bleeds into another game I have.
All right.
Uh,
Sure.
but but um, it's a classic as far as I'm aware that I have not seen, and then I recently watched it. So it's not as classic as like Friday the 13th or whatever, but it's a classic. When we get to the game that brings it up,
Sure.
I will reference back. And my
Right.
favorite of all time isn't a movie or TV or anything. It's not a comic or anything. Actually, it is a comic. Okay, it has to be a. It's a short story comic by the manga author Junji Ito called "The Enigma of Amigahara Fault,"
Hmm.
where a mountain splits in half. There's a earthquake, it splits in half,
Okay.
and a bunch of human-shaped holes are in it. And if you see a hole, like you'll be like watching TV, looking at the news coverage, and one of those holes will look just like you, and
Oh.
you have a like a supernatural desire to go into the hole. And I won't reveal what happens at the other side or in or the story around the holes. It's fascinating. And there's another one where this guy sews himself into a couch so that someone can sit on. It's another story. So this lady sits on him every day, and she discovers that there's a guy who's been living in her I think it's an armchair. This guy's
That's
crazy. I recommend Junji Ito. He's the author. If you haven't read any of his stuff, you can find like he makes a bunch of short stories.
that's
Yeah,
wild.
it's pretty crazy.
I love that.
Yeah, I'll send you a link after this for the Amiga.
All
I think it's
right.
Amigahara fault, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's
That's
mine.
that sounds dope as fuck. I'm excited to read that. Um. Yeah. Okay. I'll get mine out of the way here. So for me, my sister and my cousins uh watched a ton of horror movies growing up, and I was very apprehensive about it early on. So I caught a lot of glimpses of horror movies growing up. Um, I'm s- I- like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scream, Halloween. Those are some of the big ones that I caught like glimpses of, but
Hmm.
never really watched. The first horror thing that I watched and really got me into it is, as it fits with my outfit here, the not like 1990 miniseries, it was like a two-part like TV movie. Um, that was the first piece of horror that I watched that I was like, oh shit, I love this. This is for me. Um, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it other than it was such a new sort of experience. The idea that like you can explore fear
Hmm.
in media like that, and like having because I think the one of the beautiful things about the horror genre and why I'm so attracted to it is because I think fear is like it's the most raw human emotion, and I love uh, exploring fear and trying to like emulate that within horror and trying to find new innovative ways to create that. Um, Last is going to be a real short one. Fear Street is the last horror anything that I really got into, which I watched it. I think like what a bit a month ago. We already talked about it on the podcast before, so I won't talk about it too much in depth here.
I think it was the first week of October.
Right.
So 2 weeks. No, 1 week. I don't remember. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
Anyway, we talked about it in a previous episode, so I won't go into it too much here. My favorite is I might have already mentioned this in the past, but it's The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. I just I could go on about it for hours and hours. But I one think I already have a little bit in a previous episode, and two, you have a lot of mini games prepared. So let's keep rolling along. We got that one out of the way. Now they might get a little look-see into our psyche and how we sort of approach the horror genre. So
Okay. Okay.
let's get into the next one.
You wanna talk? You wanna? Okay. Okay. This is a choose your own adventure for you.
Oh hell
The
yeah!
audience does not get to have a decision because I can't see the future. But
Right. It'd be
you
cool
get
if
to
you could.
answer. I'm hyping this up like it's part of the game. It's not. Do you want to hit another topic, or do you want to go right into the games? Do you want a game, or do you want to talk? Do you want to spice it up a little more? It's up to
I
you.
don't know. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm something of a gamer myself.
You're something of a gamer. Let's see if you really are. Let's see if you're a gamer, and let's also test your knowledge of movies, horror
Probably not.
movies.
Probably not very good. I'm slacking a little bit, but I like them.
Well, for this first game, it's called "Is That Movie Real?" Ding ding
Oh
ding ding
hell
ding
yeah!
ding ding. Ding. So I'm going to list off. I'm gonna not list off. I'm gonna tell you a movie, the name of a movie, give you a short little blurb about the movie,
Hell
and
yeah!
you get to tell me if it's fake that I made up or if it's 100% real.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Let's go.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm not gonna put any graphics or anything up either, so you better pay attention, audience.
It's all right.
I might. I don't know. We'll find out, won't we?
We'll find out. We'll see.
If you're
We'll see.
watching this, you know. You already know. Uh, First movie.
Yeah.
Attack of the Killer Bugs. A small American town is overrun by a new species of bug/insect that can smell fear. A team of exterminators are sent in to take care of it, but something starts going amiss. And these are
Mm,
all of these. If like these movies are like not well known. Well, some of them.
right.
I think one of them is, but not within your knowledge, most likely.
Yeah, I've never heard of Attack of the Killer Bugs.
A lot of them are. I went through a big list of B movies, so.
Ha! It's a pun. Get it? It's bugs and bees.
Oh,
Um, do I get a year associated with any of these, or
what?
just description?
That was
Do I
the
have a year?
description. Oh, no, I did not remember to write down the years.
Okay. That sounds something that is 100% like a possible thing that exists.
Hmm.
It's just generic enough that like, yeah, that could be real, or it could just be some bullshit you came up with on the spot.
It's almost like that was intentional.
Yeah.
It's almost like I found movies that would.
Well, I think I have a decent like well of like obscure like slashers and shit
I did
from.
not go for the obscure ones where that's like Leprechaun. You know, everyone knows Leprechaun, but like, you know
Right.
what I mean.
I'm gonna say, fuck it. I'm gonna say fake. I say you made that shit up.
Is that your final answer?
No,
No. I'm not influencing you. I swear. I swear.
I don't know.
I,
Yeah, I'll say it's fake.
You are correct. I came up
Fuck
with
yeah.
that. That is Galaxy Brain. I think that, yeah. I was gonna call it like I don't know, like I don't know, like Ant Apocalypse, but I was like, that's too that's not no. And
Apocalypse.
my
Maybe.
inspiration was like that one movie with the giant spiders, and I don't know if you know it. It's called like Arachnid or something. But yeah, that's my
I think
inspiration
it's
for this one.
all right. Cool.
Okay,
I like this already.
You're on a roll. You got one correct. You got 1 point.
I don't think that counts as a roll, but I'll take it.
There's
Ding.
5 of them, by the way. You've 1 of 5 done.
All right.
1 point. If you get 3 right, that's minimum to win, and you get
Okay.
a big. You get to feel good about yourself. That's your reward.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Movie 2.
Dude. I just noticed the fucking pumpkin in the background.
What pumpkin?
I fucking hate you so much. I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
Dun. I thought you were gonna say like you had to go do something or something. I was about to be like, what the heck? Also, this orange light here is a piece of metal in the shape of a flame, and it's supposed to emulate a candle, but it just is a super dim orange light. So it's really shitty.
I hate you.
Okay, are you ready for the second movie?
Along. Yep.
So, movie 2.
Movie 2.
Yeah, Spiral. A small Japanese town is obsessed with a spiral shape that slowly drives the entire town insane. Only one teenager is trying to like stop it. Is it real or is it fake?
I thought you were gonna give me like the biggest softball pass of like, well, that's a misnomer. I know softballs are hard to hit. Actual real softball pitches. I thought you were gonna give me the easiest layup of my life when you just started with Spiral, because Spiral from the Book of Saw came out like 2 years ago.
It may have a similar name to something you know, but it is not the one you know, most likely.
Yeah. No, it isn't.
Or it's nothing that exists at all.
It very well could be nothing that exists at all.
Yeah, I'm a smart man. Come up with some cool stuff.
It's especially hard because you mentioned it's Japanese, right?
Yes.
Dude, the Asian horror market is like so wide and diverse. You could have the easiest game of your life by just being like, start every single description with it's a Japanese or it's a Korean horror movie, and it's I don't know.
One could just look at the catalog and go, I'm gonna take aspects of a bunch of these and put them together and make up something. One could do that. But did I?
I'm gonna say it's real. Fuck it.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You are correct.
Well, hell yeah.
Spiral is a movie. You know that author I told you about with the Enigma of Whatever Fault?
Yeah.
This is an adaptation of one of his stories called Uzumaki, where
hell
a town goes insane.
Isn't that the Naruto guy?
Yes, but it's also the name of it means spiral. That's why it means spiral. Yes, it does. Okay. His last name is Spiral. Naruto's Spiral. Also, Naruto is those little fish things inside of ramen. Those little like fish cakes. So his dad named him Fish Spiral.
Okay.
Pour one out for Naruto, man.
Pour one out for.
That's like being named Herbert. So yes, it is real. The movie's apparently it's terrible, so don't watch it.
Okay.
An anime adaptation is coming soon that's going to be way more faithful. Okay, sure. And it's also a manga that exists. Are you ready for the third one?
I'm ready. Let's get it.
I feel like I kind of gave that one away. I was too specific when I started like saying, "Oh, it's a teenager," But I had very little of the synopsis on the IMDb page was really small.
Right.
Also, the people just heard a Discord notification of some sort.
Yeah, I'm getting them from a good friend of ours.
Okay. We're ready for third movie.
I'm ready. Let's get it.
Tell them to shut up. I'm joking.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Third movie. Thesis.
A
student is doing a paper on violence, and during her research, she finds a snuff film of another student in her school. I have nothing else to say about this one. Interesting concept.
I was like, hit. When you gave me the title, I was like, nope, that's fake. but now I don't know. If it's real, I want to watch it. If it's not real, I want to make it.
It is interesting.
That's
The
Dude,
description I've read is very interesting.
that's tough. I want.
Read just now, obviously.
I don't know if you're gonna. I don't know if you're gonna keep alternating, or if you're gonna try to throw me off by giving me two right ones back to back, two real ones rather.
That's up to you to find out, isn't it?
Yeah,
Any more I say will kind of give it away. So
I was hoping that there'd be at least one, and there still could be, where it's like I actually know, like I've heard of it.
you will know none of them. Any of the real ones on here, you will not know. I guarantee it.
I hope it's real, so I'm gonna say it's real.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You're correct.
Ah,
You have
yes.
won. So past this
Won the
point,
game already.
you're too good. You're too knowledgeable about things that would be made by people. I think my descriptions are too good. I think I'm just too good. So
Yeah,
it is a real movie. The description is it's not a student. I changed it a bit because it was I think it was like a faculty member that got thing. It looks terrible, but it has high reviews. So I don't know.
You're misleading me.
Yeah. I don't know. It seemed more realistic if it was like a teacher or something. It sounds stupid when you read it. Like I made it sound cool. It sounds really dumb in the description. It's like it sounds really low.
I'm still gonna watch it now.
I don't know where it will be.
I'll find it.
Are you ready for the fourth one?
All right, yeah, let's go.
Movie 4 is titled "Space Runs Thin." A student of a philosophy student discovers that around his small town there's spaces that are thinner and more exposed to a strange other world, and things are starting to leak through. Is it
Fake.
real or is
Fake.
it fake?
Fake. Final answer.
You're correct. Holy shit, you're popping off. Also, I was really proud of that one. I came up with that and I was like, that's a good idea. I'm also proud of the name. Space Runs Thin. Was it too good sounding?
It was too. It was like, it's the perfect balance between, this is a terrible name for a big budget movie, and a very unrealistic name for a shitty.
It's like one of those like
movie.
it's one of those like A whatever movies where it's like that company that like sponsors a bunch of like people who are gonna make something weird, and they're like, "Huh, yeah, let's do that," and it's like mediocre at best.
Yeah.
The reason I was proud of that one is because I actually thought of this not like as a movie, but like as a concept for like a story of some kind.
Right.
Because in my campus, I often am walking around at night there, and it's so weird when it's empty and void of any noise. And I was like, it'd be like so cool if like in this like I came up with a cool idea. So I've been I'm kind of peeved that you immediately caught on it was fake. But
I mean, it was a fine enough like description, and I think that movie could work. But I just, as soon as you said the name, I was like, I don't think so.
Okay. Are you ready for the final one?
I'm ready. I want to get 100%.
If you do, I will give you. I will clap and go. Good job.
Thank you. I want that.
Movie 5, the final movie, Death Watch. During World War I, a group of soldiers are hiding in German trenches, and they discover they aren't alone.
That's like. That's a movie. If you're not, if what you said, Death Watch, is not a real movie, that plot line has existed. I want to get 100%.
I want you to too. I think it'd be cool. You're the movie guy. It's kind of your thing.
I hope so. I'm gonna say it's real.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer. It's real.
You're correct, 100%. Oh, this one looked really bad. I do not know why it has high reviews. It looks shit. So, applause for you.
Yes.
Here's
I've never heard of any of those.
sheet, real, fake, whatever. You got it right. Look at that.
Hell yeah,
So
that was fun.
I was proud of that game. I was like, that's a fun game.
That was good. I like
So
that.
yeah, I'm impressed that you got all of them right. I bet you if I started with a real movie, it would have thrown you off. I think you got like on a roll, on a vibe, and it kind of.
I kind of did.
But
The
viewers at home, if you played along and didn't cheat and skip, put your score in the section below. Heck
Dude,
yeah!
they had some time to think in all of them except Space Runs Thin, because I answered that in 0.5 seconds.
Space Runs Thin. I think it's a cool idea for a movie.
I think it's a cool concept.
I'm not a movie maker, so
Hey, it could be.
I could.
Let's make a movie.
The other two games, by the way, not nearly as good as that one. So we started real strong, but
Sure.
yeah,
That's fine.
You did very good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're all grown up.
Your approval means everything.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Good job. There you go. That's your reward. Look at that.
Hell yeah.
So I'll send the money through the bank account in
Right.
yeah, just was it 10K?
It is 10K.
Okay, so just making sure. Okay, next topic, right?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So viewers of the channel, our devout audience,
Our
would know. I choked
Would you ever
on something.
start a cult?
What?
Would you ever start a cult?
Would I ever start a cult? Wow, I
Yeah.
should have put that on here. So,
If you had the means to do so, would you start a cult?
I don't think so, and it's not because it's wrong, but because it's effort. No. Think about it though.
Okay.
Right. Think about how much work and what sacrifices you have to do to adhere to the rules you've set in place or the image you've put yourself in to be the cult leader, right?
Right.
You're this like godly being that, I don't know, doesn't shit or something, right? Oh, now I can't shit near them. Now I can't. Oh, like now I have a bunch of these weird rules because they always have to have rules, right? Then I have to follow these rules in front of these people. It's such an inconvenience. Eventually, I need to build my own town in some, I don't know, South American country,
Right.
where I have this fenced-in area that all my people live, and I give them Air Jordans, and we all hang out. But I don't. It's too much effort. I wouldn't do it. But it would pay well.
I would absolutely do it.
You'd do
By
it.
the way,
I
I
would
don't
join
shit,
yours.
so if it does it for you, come join.
If
my
you
cult.
start one, let me in.
Hell
As one who knows, as can peek behind the curtain and know the truth. But I
Right,
don't
my
wanna share that,
trusted confidant.
I'll be the one who's like, oh, they'll be like in the mess hall eating, and I'll overhear them go, I don't know if he really is who he says he is, and then the next day you don't see them ever again.
Hell yeah.
Excuse me, come with me. Or no, they come back a week later and they're like, he is the god. You know, fucking brainwash them.
Fuck yeah.
I'd get in on that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, I would not. Just let
All right. What's your next topic?
that was you just fucking pulled that shit out of your brain there. Fucking, it's cult leader,
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah.
We're getting into real scary, not like like scary movie scary. That's like real horror.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about
real.
something I have very little experience with. I don't know. I've never asked you, so I don't know about you. What?
Nothing. Keep going.
Did you say sex?
I did say sex.
True, but haunted
We're not-
houses.
Okay, cool.
Do you?
Cooler than sex.
Oh, of course. Do you like them? Have you been in them? Have you worked at one? What's your experience with them? Just tell me about it.
So I actually I don't know how much of this story I want to tell.
Oh, I found a good topic.
Let's just say I've lived a very interesting life
I wish.
at times.
Wish I could.
And by I don't mean cool.
I
Interesting.
Good stories.
I spent probably 2 weeks inside of a abandoned or unused haunted house that was being repurposed as a meth lab and like squatter's den.
Okay.
And it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool just like walking around inside of a unused haunted house, seeing all the stupid shit that was around.
Okay.
Not a haunted house as in it's haunted, like a haunted house
Yeah.
that's like Halloween special that people go to
Real
get
quick
scared.
question.
Right.
Are you subtly implying you lived in a meth lab?
I don't think I was subtly implying that. I think I outright
You
said,
didn't say, you said I was staying at a place that was being used as a meth lab.
yeah.
That sounds kind of like you can kind of like spin it, you know?
Well, okay, it was not my house.
Yes, I figured.
It was I don't think it was anyone's house. I think it was just
Just
they were using it as a meth lab and they stayed in it because they kept getting high and just doing whatever they did in the place.
okay.
Uh,
Okay.
listen, listen.
Whew.
I've
What
had
did
some weird summers.
that that's an experience, all right.
I was there. I myself did not partake in any drug usage. Um, not because I'm a good person, but because meth is like one of two drugs that I am like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
It's one of those ones that will like really mess you up.
Yeah,
Not like if I abuse it, it'll mess me up. Like you do it once, it'll mess you up.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that stuff's not okay.
I don't want to live with bees in my teeth. So I'm yeah, no. But yes, I so that was interesting. Other than that, I have been to a couple. So back when I lived in Kansas City, they have Worlds of Fun that does the Halloween haunt every year, and they have a couple haunted houses that they put up. And I went through a couple of those, and they were cool. I broke my toe in one of them
Ooh.
because my sister stepped backwards and stomped down right on top of it,
Mm.
and it did not feel great. Um, I think they're cool. They're not really. I'm not like, oh, I need to go and go to a bunch of them. Um, when it comes to horror and like Halloween, I'm much more a homebody type celebrator, where I
Same.
like just sitting down and watching a bunch of horror movies and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But yeah, they're cool. I like them, and I had the interesting story, I guess, about it. So, what about you? What's your opinion on haunted houses? Did you ever stay in one that was being used as a meth lab?
You know, there was this one time. No, no. No, I have not. I've never been. I've never even been in. I've never seen a meth lab. So, um,
Mm,
but uh, I
let's
have
keep it
been
out.
to a couple haunted houses. I've been to all the Worlds of Fun ones. So, Worlds of Fun, if no one knows, it's not like Six Flags where it's like everywhere. It's
Yeah.
like this. It's part of the same big mega corp that owns all of them, but it's
Hmm.
this one in Kansas City that is. It's like six. It's essentially Six Flags, but they don't call it Six Flags, and
Right.
they don't have like the Batman ride. They have like essentially like bootleg versions of everything. They're not bootleg. They're the same like quality, and they do the same thing, but they have different names because it's not a Six Flags location, so they can't. But
Right.
there's a they do haunted houses, and I've done every single one solely because they give you this badge when you go, and they
Hmm.
like I think they punch it out, and I was like, I gotta complete it
Right.
solely. But those are the only ones I've been to, which I don't know if they're really like tame. I don't know. But it was boring more than anything because I didn't get scared. It was,
Hmm.
and I feeling at the most I would get startled because one of them has a train horn or something. I don't know what it is,
Mm,
but there you walk down this hallway, and all of a sudden it's the loudest noise. It makes your ears ring when it's done. It's this
hmm.
like train coming, I think is what they're trying to simulate because they have the light turn on like it's a headlight essentially, like the front of a train, and then it blasts in your face, blinds you, and then it's essentially they flashbang you. It's like this isn't scary, it's painful. What are you doing? Stop.
Right.
Like, and the entire time I'm like, oh shit, my ears. And my dad was in the front. And he's like, fuck. And he's like, so it's like I wasn't really scared, and I think it's because you know it's not real.
Hmm.
Like they're not gonna hit you or anything. They're not gonna hurt you
Right.
because of legal reasons. So you're just walking through a jump scare simulator. So at the most, I go hook, 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 every 5 seconds. But
Yeah.
there is one. I don't know if it still is around. I think there were like lawsuits, but there's one where they're allowed to hurt you if you sign a contract,
Mm.
and they lock you into this thing, I don't know what it's called, but it's that thing they put the people in medieval times where they're like this.
Uh,
One monitor and
Stockade.
a gotta
Stockade.
switch tabs, kick W. Yeah, you have to sit like this.
Sorry, I don't mean to be, ruining the immersion. I was trying to look up the name of something that I want to talk about after you're done with this.
I understand.
It's yes, the stockades.
Yeah, and they like literally just like make you eat cockroaches, punch you. Apparently they cut you. Yeah, you sign a waiver for this. And there's like a waiting list that's super long. I don't think it's still being done anymore. Eventually they got kicked out of the place they were doing it, and then this guy did it in his backyard. Like, it's really janky, also legally gray, and they literally hurt you. It's more like Fear Factor, but they're allowed to hurt you. And they
Um,
call it a haunted house.
hey, if anyone knows if these are being run anywhere, you let me know.
You want to go in?
I'm down.
The waiting list, I remember, is like years long. So
That's I
they
better get on
legit
that.
like piss on you and all that
Well,
shit.
okay, I don't know about that.
No, yeah, they do. Fuck, they make you
I'm
vomit.
cool. I'm cool getting punched and cut. I don't really want to get pissed on.
I think that's really the breaker is like pissing, and I don't know if they like actually do that. I think they call it. They've had to change since they started. Obviously,
Right.
I don't remember the name of this either. It's called like Mr. Dude's thing because it's like his invention. That's the only
Okay.
one I think I'd be scared in. Really
I
scared, not like huh, huh, because someone jumps out at me.
I'm like 100% cool with like some some form of like visceral, tangible terror and like some threat of actual pain or violence. Like I'm cool with that. I definitely draw the line at bodily fluids
Yeah,
being put onto me.
that's a gross thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's gross.
Moving on from that, um, I actually did want to bring it up since we're talking about amusement parks and spooky, scary type stuff associated with them. Have you ever been to Silver Dollar City in is it Springfield? Is it Branson?
I'm no, I
Someplace
haven't.
down in I think southern
I've
Missouri.
been to Worlds of Fun and Six Flags.
Okay, well there's this place called Silver Dollar City, which is
Yes,
like
I am aware of the place.
okay. They have a ride that is called Fire in the Hole. And
Okay.
and when I was a youngster, like very young, we used to go to Silver Dollar City all the time. Like every year, every summer we would go.
Hmm.
So I rode the ride when I was like probably 7, 6, 7.
Yeah.
And it's not grown up me is like, it's not scary. It's a lot that goes on at one time.
Hmm.
But there's a part in it like early on where you're like, it's a super dark tunnel that you're in and you're going up for a little bit and then you start going straight. And as you're going straight, it's like there's a light at the end and it's supposed to like simulate like you're about to hit a wall.
Yeah.
Like it speeds up and it's like we're about to hit the wall and there's a lot of screaming going on, like simulated screaming from them as well as the screaming from the people who are riding it. And
Yeah.
it's super loud. There's a lot of flashing lights. There's the bright light right in your face, and then right before you hit the wall, you like drop down and you start going in through these tunnels where there's like scenes of like fire, like houses burning, people burning. It's very,
They
very
take you to hell.
it takes you to hell basically.
Jesus.
And then the very end, you hear a train, like train noises, and as you're coming up, they have like this. The final part of the tunnel is like you in an actual moving train coming at you, and it's like you're about to collide again, and then just at the last minute you swerve into the end room or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like it's a lot to take in as a little 6, 7 year old,
Probably.
and it fucking like scarred me when I was young.
Damn.
I was like, oh, okay.
That
I was
sounds.
very terrified for it for a while, and then like I stopped writing it. I absolutely refused to write it every time we went. And then like the last time we went, when I was like 12, 13, I wrote it again, and I was like, wow, this isn't even scary. It's just
Yeah,
weird and fucked
you
up.
adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy how like your young brains can warp things.
it is. It is. It is. It. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I used to be scared of, but now I'm like, this is what was I thinking?
Right.
Okay, so I think it's about time for another game. Another game. Are you ready to game? Because you've told me you're a gamer, and so far you've proved yourself. You know, you
And
100%ed the first thing.
I'm not just a gamer, I'm an esports professional. Let's go.
This has nothing to do with esports, but
Well,
I'll take your word for it. This is a quiz,
all right.
a spooky Halloween themed quiz. You're gonna notice a trend. The games start to get worse, which
Okay, cool.
uh, is a side effect of time. But
All right.
I did try.
I'm glad I went ahead and perfected the good game.
Yeah, yeah. Very
So
proud of
that
that.
so that now it's like, whatever.
Yeah. So this is a quiz. It's 4 questions long,
All
and
right.
it is Halloween themed. There's some multiple choice, some like you just have to know the answer kind of thing. Yes.
I have a question, Professor.
No, it's not on the test.
All right. What percentage of this will factor into our final grade?
The quiz is a participation grade. No matter what you get a 10 points. You'd have to do one of these each week.
Okay.
And it's just for me to gauge your knowledge, see if you're paying attention in class, see if I need to hit any other topics, you know.
Sure.
So yeah.
Understood.
So are you ready? Pencils? You got number 2 pencil? Wow, not even prepared. Number 2
I have
pencil.
it.
Look at that. Look at that.
I'm here.
Number 2 pencil equipped. Papers down. No cheating. Keep your eyes to your own paper. Let's get this
Okay.
started. Question 1. I can't hear that. Question 1. Don't. It's not picking it up.
It's fine.
Question 1.
It's fine.
We're starting with an easy one.
Okay.
Kind of warm you up. What is Michael Myers' mask a mask of?
It's a bleached William Shatner mask.
Correct.
The fucking one of the producers just picked up from a store and was like, fuck it, it'll work.
Yeah, apparently their budget was so low that they ran out of money for costumes, so they spray painted it white, cut the eye holes a little bit bigger, and said, that'll work.
Yeah.
It is a $2. It was $2. William Shatner mask painted white. Good
Did
job.
you know that there's in part, I want to say part 4 or 5, there's one single scene where he has like pink hair and whatever. It's because they had to do reshoots, and I think they lost the actual mask that was used for the rest of the fucking movie.
Oh my gosh.
He's had a lot of masks over the years.
He has, yeah. It's more damaged now and everything.
Yeah.
Now I think it's a different mask too. It looks similar, but they've changed it so that they can like sell it.
Right.
Yeah. So question 1, it was a nice easy one. I figured you'd know it. But question 2, you might not know.
Okay.
You actually probably won't.
Okay.
Okay. It's a multiple choice answer. I'll give you all 4 answers, and after you can ask what they are again if you need to.
Sure.
Which Paranormal Activity movie was the most commercially successful?
Okay.
Option 1, the first one. Option 1, or 2. Option 2, the second one.
Okay.
Option 3, the third one. And option 4, the fourth one. They aren't called one. I think like 3 and 4 aren't called 4 or something. So I just called them the fourth and the third one or whatever. But yeah.
So I remember a big buzz with the first one, and I remember a big buzz with the second one. I don't remember hearing anything about any more after that. So I'm gonna say it's a toss up between 1 and 2, because I think 1 was kind of the first. It wasn't entirely original, but it was different enough from what you typically got in horror
Yeah.
that it created a bunch of attention. But there's always like it's not since it's not an established series, there are going to be people who are skeptical. Whereas number two, it's kind of like in some situations you might get lower buzz because it's like, whatever, just more sequels. And in other cases, you might get more of a buzz because it's like, okay, if the first one was good, people are going to love the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard, and listen, I might be like a fake horror fan by saying this. I've never seen a Paranormal Activity movie.
I haven't either.
I've seen clips.
I haven't either.
I know what they're about. I know the style. I haven't watched one from start to finish ever in my life. But I've heard relatively good things about the first one, at least.
Apparently, the
So
first one's genuinely good.
I'm gonna
according to
say that
reviews.
I'm gonna say that the first one did good, and the second one, people were really excited about. So I'm gonna say my final answer is B, the second one.
You are incorrect.
Damn.
The most commercially successful Paranormal Activity was the third one.
Wow.
Don't ask me why. I didn't look into it. As far as I'm aware, it was not good either. Like, I know that everyone said the first one was good and the rest were bad. So I don't know why. Maybe at that point, brand recognition.
Yeah,
It's kind of
I
like
guess.
how like sequels do good usually. That's why they churn them out, even though they're
Yeah.
not good. It's like that kind of thing. But yeah, the third one,
Right.
which surprised me
That's
too, because I know the first and the
right.
second are pretty iconic. So who knows? Ask the people. Okay.
Maybe
Wow.
we'll have to have a Paranormal Activity watch session
Maybe.
sometime.
Third question. Wow.
Third
No
question. Let's get
longer
into it.
100%ing and all the games. You've now gotten one answer wrong out of everything. Out of the two of the games actually scored. The third game has no score. So it's not really a game.
Lame.
Well, I couldn't do 3 quizzes, okay?
Mm,
Third
Sure.
question. Third
Good
question. Let me ask my question. Has
Okay,
nothing to do
ask
with
your question.
movies.
All right.
Which vegetable or plant, I think it's a vegetable, I don't know, which thing that isn't an animal that you eat is part of Halloween tradition? Multiple choice question. Question or answer 1, a pumpkin.
God, you're just, dude.
Answer 2, a squash. Answer 3, corn. And answer 4, cabbage. And no, there's lore to this beyond the obvious.
I hate you.
This isn't.
Be-
This is. It's not as simple as one would think.
No, I know. That's why I hate you, because it's like because technically, your question was which of these are involved in Halloween tradition.
It's an old tradition.
Yeah,
I
that's the thing.
should have wrote that down, but I didn't. I was in a
Because
hurry.
pumpkin is technically a correct answer.
Yes.
But I know it's not the correct answer.
Is it not?
I don't think so, because
And
it
the
feels like
funny is the reasoning isn't because of eating either.
squash. Final answer.
Wrong.
Tit.
1 second. Let me find the answer here because it's fucking stupid and I like it.
Fucking cabbage.
It is cabbage.
I know.
So, I can't.
I hate this question.
Sorry, this
But
shit.
explain cabbage to us.
I'm going to real quick.
Come on, consummate professional. We need the
Nothing is loading on my fucking phone, and it's giving me different results than before, which is stupid, and I don't know why.
Do you want me to fucking hijack
Okay, I
this
found it. I
quiz?
found it.
Okay, cool.
So it's cabbage. Cabbage
Right.
was often used as in pranks on mischief night, sometimes
Yes.
referred to as cabbage night.
Cabbage night. Wonderful.
People would sometimes leave stinky, rotten cabbages near their neighbors' doors.
Mm.
That's the lore, and it's probably from like they don't specify what year this was done, but probably like 18 something no, earlier, probably like Revolutionary War times. Who knows? It sounds stupid,
Yeah.
but I saw that and I'm like I have to include that question because it's so
So-
fucking dumb.
So before you get into the fourth question, one, yeah, that is dumb, and I'm just gonna move right along. But it made me think of something.
Yeah.
A little funny story that I wanted to tell. So when you mentioned Halloween pranks and the rotten cabbage being used as a prank on mischief night, I went out my last Halloween in my hometown, my tiny ass hometown, I was running around with friends. I was probably like 14, 15. I think I was like 14. Um, and some of the guys around town, we had a tradition as well, I guess, if you want to call it a tradition,
Mm-hmm.
like a prank tradition, I guess. And it was just stealing pumpkins. Like the guys in my
Theft.
yeah, basically. It would be like we would just go around stealing jack-o'-lanterns and shit and just making a collection of all the jack-o'-lanterns we stole from everyone around town.
Mm-hmm.
I never participated in this, not because I'm a good boy, but because I don't give a fuck about collecting jack-o'-lanterns. Um,
I think you
uh,
need to clarify. I'm not a goody two shoes. I swear.
I don't want to listen. I talked about living in a meth lab for 2 weeks earlier. They should know by now. Anyway, so one Halloween, the final Halloween in that I spent in that town, I was walking around town with some friends, just shooting the shit, talking, hanging out, and one of my friends ran up to some dude's house to grab the pumpkin. It was like in his yard, uh, like beside a tree or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were a couple of them just like placed around the tree. He
Yeah.
runs up and he grabs one and he starts running with it, full sprint back towards us. And the guy whose house it was had it chained.
You chained a pumpkin.
He chained a pumpkin.
How the fuck do you do that?
I I have no
Maybe
idea.
it's fake. I don't know.
But so my friend grabs this pumpkin, starts sprinting off with it, gets to the end of the chain, fucking gets yanked like a fucking rag doll, lands on it, fucking lands all sprawled out. We ditched his ass, just fucking started running because the dude came out of his house with a chainsaw and started chasing us.
Oh,
He was dressed up as Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Uh, but yeah, that made me think of that. That was our tradition around one of our traditions around that small town I grew up in was stealing pumpkins.
sounds like a fun activity for mischief night.
You're right.
I don't know what mischief night is. Is there another name for Halloween? I don't
I
know.
think Mischief Night's typically the night before Halloween.
Hmm. We'll
Right.
find out, won't we? You're gonna Google.
I'm googling it right now.
Okay. Googling. Google.
Yeah, Mischief Night, otherwise known as Devil's Night,
Hmm.
Gate Night, Goosey Night, Moving Night, Cabbage Night,
It's
and
on there
Nat.
too. Cabbage night.
It's the night before Halloween.
The night before Halloween. Okay. Well.
Anyway,
Last
yeah.
question.
Fourth question. Sorry, didn't mean
This
to derail the
question.
quiz.
This question talks about the movie I saw recently that I was recommended by someone in my class that I haven't seen.
All right, sure.
So this is the reveal. It's not a
The
big
reveal of
but
your
this
most
is-
recently watched.
Yeah, I didn't want to like talk about it twice. So,
All right, sure.
what was the name of the guy in the bunny suit in the movie Donnie Darko?
Fuck.
Have you seen Donnie Darko?
I saw Donnie Darko a while ago,
Yes.
and I watched it once.
I watched
And
it recently and was like, it's fine. But
Actually-
I liked the. Don't look up.
I'm not looking up who it is. I was looking up the movie when the movie was released.
It might say though.
No, I looked up. I went into the Google search, and then it pulls down like a screenshot of the
Oh,
Like-
yeah, you're right.
the thumbnail or whatever, and then it says 2001
Yes,
film.
yes. Space
That's all I
Odyssey.
wanted to know. Hell yeah. I have no fucking clue, but isn't Jake Gyllenhaal in that movie?
I think he's Donnie Darko. No, the rabbit is not named Donnie Darko, by the way.
I knew it was not.
Okay.
Gonna
I
be
think
Donnie
he's Donnie Darko. I don't know for sure. And he's very young. It's a guy who's like looks weird that he's that young.
I have no fucking clue.
You want to guess?
Fucking.
Okay, wait, let me
Lucifer?
give you a hint. It has the word rabbit in it. It's like something the rabbit. There's your hint.
Oh fuck! What is this? I think I've heard it before. I think my sister likes this movie, so I think I've heard the name before, but I have no fucking clue.
It's a very
What is it?
confusing movie.
I have no guess, honestly.
You want to? Okay. You taking the L on this one?
I'm just gonna hold my L.
The name of the rabbit is Frank the Rabbit.
Frank the Rabbit.
And
I've heard that
it's
before.
a dude named Frank, and he's wearing
I
a
pr-
rabbit costume.
I watched that movie with my sister probably when it came out.
2001. When were you born?
99.
Then you you would
I,
have literally no memory of that.
all I remember
That's
from that movie,
pre-consciousness.
no, it isn't.
1 year? You,
You
I guess.
That would be 2 years. You have
Oh yeah,
memories
you're
of
right.
being a two.
I
It
don't.
probably wasn't 2001, but it was like very, very young. Like when it was freshly come out, and all I remember of the movie is I think Jake Gyllenhaal's in it, and I remember like seeing the bunny or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Um, one
That's
second.
all I remember about Donnie Darko. I need to watch it though because I've heard it is good.
It's a fucking mind bender. Has to do with time travel and stuff. It's a psychological horror movie.
Yeah, yeah,
I gotta find the guy now. Yes, it's a really young Jake Gyllenhaal.
yeah.
Very young. He plays a teenager, which is weird to think about. I don't think
Yo,
he's actually like. I think he's like in his 20s though. So
Maggie Gyllenhaal's in it. Drew Barrymore is in it.
yeah, Maggie Gyllenhaal
Patrick
plays his
Swayze.
sister.
What?
Hit,
Maggie plays his sister.
yes,
That makes sense.
which is funny because they're actually. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool. There's like a. The synopsis is: in the election of 1988, a teenager named Donnie Darko sleepwalks out of his house one night and sees a giant, demonic-looking rabbit named Frank, who tells him the world will end in 28 days. When Donnie returns home, he finds that a jet engine crashed through his house where he was sleeping if he would have been sleeping there. It would have killed him. A jet engine that came out of nowhere. That's
Right.
the first like 10 minutes of the movie.
You ever seen Secretary,
Secretary.
starring Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Is that a horror movie?
No.
I saw a movie on the list when I was looking for fake movies or realish movies. There was one called something like Secretary, and I was about to go, "No way! How'd you know?"
Secretary is basically it's 50 Shades of Grey, but before 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay. Does this have anything to do with what we were talking about?
We started talking about fucking Maggie Gyllenhaal, and that's all I thought about. I was like, oh, she was in Secretary.
Okay. Well, you got one of them right. So you failed this test. You do
Yeah,
get 10 points for participation, though. So
but yes, I
you
get
must.
my participation points, and that means I'm 6 of 9 of total questions.
Yeah, maybe you're like Einstein in this class. You're just too smart for it. You just get bored and not pay attention, like how
Yeah,
Einstein was in like math. I think that's a
yeah.
myth, by the way.
You were talking about Donnie Darko, and I was thinking about BDSM.
Yeah, of course, as one does. So I'm folding up this game so I don't accidentally pull from it later.
Right,
Because I'd be dumb enough to forget we did it.
right.
So transitioning,
Yeah.
transition. What is his? What's his name? Fuck. What's his name?
Frank, we already went over this.
No. I did the transition, which is a YouTuber guy does it. He reviews
Mm.
music. Fantano does that.
Mm.
So as the people know,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm having deja vu. Tell me if I've
Words.
already asked this question.
Okay.
As the people know, on our channel,
Yes.
we have started gaming, right? We've been gaming.
Yeah.
Just doing a little gaming.
We haven't talked about gaming other than the throwaway jokes.
Okay, good. I think I set up this exact phrasing
Yeah.
for the movies. But
You did.
as you know, we've been gaming, and
Yep.
one of the games we've been playing is Outlast, which is of
Yeah.
the variety of horror.
Hey, go check it out, by the way.
Yeah, go check that out.
We had 2 episodes of Outlast up. Go check them out. They're pretty good.
Third one coming. I don't know, next week. Um,
Whenever.
horror games.
Horror games.
Games specifically.
Yeah.
Do you play them? Do you have a favorite? Is it something you always have been into, etc.?
So, I mentioned in a previous episode that I had tried YouTube once.
Yes.
Well, actually, I tried it twice. My very first videos that I posted on my very first YouTube channel, which was fucking over a decade ago, I think, were me playing Slender, the 8 pages, like the
Okay.
OG Slender game. Um, and back then, I was huge into horror games. Slender, Amnesia, The Dark Descent, shit like that. More recently, fuck, what's it called? Soma. Not super recently. I think it came out in like 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. Soma is not just probably my favorite horror game. It might be one of my favorite games of all time. Have you ever heard of Soma?
Yes,
Okay, very good. I loved it. And then
it looks good.
I got into like sort of not really cheap, but more like indie. Like there's one called The Park,
Mm.
I think,
Yeah.
that it's really dope. I I really liked the first Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Hmm.
Honestly, I thought it was fun. I bought it for my phone and played it all the time when I was just bored.
Yeah.
Um, shoot, obviously I'm like they're
Outlast, obviously.
Outlast. I love Outlast. Games like Resident Evil and shit like that, which are like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, stuff like that. Very popular horror
Good picks. Yeah.
franchises. I've played a bunch of those. Yeah, I think just to kind of summarize this, I used to be huge into horror games.
Hmm.
Now, not quite as much anymore, but I think that's mostly just because when I play video games these days, it's mostly just like multiplayer games that I just hop on with friends.
Yeah.
I haven't played like a single player game in so long. But yeah, I used to be huge into them,
Dope.
and
Dope.
and just threw out a bunch of names there. So those are
All
rec-
recommendations.
all recommendations. Go play all of them. They're great, especially
Yes.
Soma. Awesome.
I haven't played that. Is it on Steam?
I believe it is. Yes.
So I might check it out.
Very good.
On my end, my experience, I barely played any horror games for a long time.
Mhm.
Um, I think I played. I think I played 5 minutes of Outlast on my Xbox because it was like
Mhm.
free for gold. Literally
Mhm.
like 5 minutes, and it was like the year it came out or something. There was like a gold deal that they did,
Right.
and so it's funny that that was like your first suggestion for the channel as well.
Mhm.
And then past that point, I didn't play them at all. Not because I was like scared, mainly because I just didn't have an interest. I was more of like my exposure to like console video games outside of Nintendo was YouTube, which inevitably meant Call of Duty. So like
Right.
that was my thing.
Mhm.
But relatively recently, I'd say in the past couple of years, I'm more open to horror games.
Mhm.
Most of them I find boring because I don't get scared during video games, like ever, literally ever, because it's on a screen. It can't hurt me.
Right.
Which is like I don't. It's very hard to make me scared. I get intrigued by the genre. Is more accurate. Um, some things do. I'm not immune. I'm not some like stone faced killer. You know what I'm saying? But
Please don't say stuff like that ever again.
but yeah, no, I'm usually not affected. But I do like action horror, so I've recently taken a very strong liking to the Resident Evil series.
Uh,
I played RE2 Remaster, loved that. I loved every
mhm.
moment of it. I still need to play like Claire's story, but it's hard to do it because it's like the same game up until like a certain point, so it's like, ugh.
Right.
But and I also so I started with that, and I was like, oh, this is great. I completed Leon's story. I was like, this is epic. You know what I want to
Mhm.
try next? Resident Evil 7, the biohazard one. It's first person,
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing. I
Yeah.
loved every moment of it. I want to play it more. I need to get the DLC. I haven't done that yet. I played one of them. There was like a free one, but it's
Mhm.
essentially like Call of Duty DLC where you run around as Chris Redfield and shoot people, or not
Right.
people, monsters.
Yeah.
But it's fun
Monsters are
game,
cool too.
very fun. No, these ones literally come out of they spawn from nothing. They're not even
Ah.
zombies.
Oh.
It's like this like mass that forms human shapes, not human.
Right.
And then I played Resident Evil 8, that
Mhm.
most recently came out. Amazing, probably my favorite, because it's horror themed action game. Is the best way I can
Mhm.
describe it. You are in this village and you fight monsters. This is the one with the giant vampire lady everyone simped for.
Lady
Uh,
Dimitrescu.
yeah. Also, yeah. No. Yeah. Very very good game. Very much enjoyed it. Less scary than seven. Seven's way more horror, like horror for horror's sake. Eight
Right.
is like the same main character, so it's like the mindset of you've already been through this like nightmare, so you're like, I've been through this shit, bro. I'm just here to get out, like that kind of
Yeah.
vibe. So it's like your dude is like experienced. He never goes, ah. He's like, fucking asshole, like that.
Yeah.
Like you ugly son of a bitch. It's the funniest shit. I love it. But yeah. And then I most recently have been playing RE4 VR,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing. And I've talked about this recently on a podcast on the. Oh no,
Yeah.
wait, I might have cut it out. It was during. I think it was during the segment I cut out of the
Oh,
previous one because it was that
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
I'll do a slight reiteration or a recap. I started again. I played too much of it. I played a little more the other day. It is the best VR game I've ever played. So it's
Mhm.
very fun. More linear than the other Resident Evils, but it was like out on the GameCube, so understandable.
Right. So, mild spoiler here, and by mild I mean I'm about to spoil RE8 in its entirety.
Hmm.
Village. So, ooh, if you haven't played that game and you're still waiting, click off now. Um, you finished it, right? I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
Oh, I finished RE8 like
Okay,
I finished in
that's,
like 3 days. I binged
that's
that
what
game
I thought.
so hard.
Um, Ethan, everybody hates Ethan. Ethan was low key my favorite protagonist.
I don't think anyone hates it. He's less
Yeah.
interesting than like
Have you
Leon.
been on Twitter? I think everyone hates
Twitter
him.
doesn't count as everyone. Twitter counts as lamos who complain about everything.
Sure. Ethan was my favorite protagonist, and I was actually really pissed when he died because I was like, "Oh fuck, he's so cool!" Like he got his heart ripped out. He's like, "Nah, I'm good." I'm like, "That's
Yeah,
so dope." And then
yeah.
they killed him off, and I was like, "Fuck, I wanted another Ethan Winters game." But
Did
now we have
you
his daughter. Or
did
whatever.
you watch a playthrough or something?
I did watch a playthrough. I
Good.
played. I played seven. I played Biohazard. Did not play Village, mostly because I'm broke. But well, we're still talking about horror games right before we switch off to your next topic.
Hmm.
Um, one of my absolute favorite horror games that I just thought of, a slightly more recent one, I guess, than some of the names I threw out there, like Slender and Amnesia. But Until Dawn. Did you ever play that?
I have not. I watched a playthrough of it though. I think I watched. I don't remember who. I watched a playthrough. It's the one with the fucking like Wendigos, right?
Yeah, it's with the Wendigo, and
Yeah.
it's. I loved that game, and I love games that are like choices actually matter. I think that's fucking awesome. And so after they made Until Dawn, they started their Dark Pictures anthology, which is just like it's basically Until Dawn type games where you control a group of characters and you try to survive some supernatural event or whatever.
Yeah.
And uh, I think their first one was Man of Medan, and then they did Little Hope, and then they just recently came out with House of Ashes.
Yeah, I've seen people playing it on like Twitch or something.
I want after we're done with Outlast, if we stick with horror games, which it won't be thematic because it'll be long past October by then,
Hmm.
I really want to play those on the channel at some point.
They look really fun.
And I think games that like that are heavily
Yeah.
choice based would be good because it allows like different playthroughs are still interesting. So even if you had already seen a different YouTuber play through it, you're gonna be experiencing something new with us, unless you're one of the type of people that goes back and plays through a bunch of the endings.
Yeah,
So I just think it'd be fun to like me and you trying to make choices together.
for sure. I really like. So I watched, as you said. Well, the fucking sorry. I'm like,
You're
I
good.
watched a playthrough of Until Dawn, and during that, I was like, this is like what Telltale was trying to do, but like
Right.
infinitely better.
Right.
Because Telltale's it doesn't have any gameplay. I mean, you walk around
Mm.
sometimes, but this one had slightly more, and it's more interesting of a story. I know like the big reveal and all that, which I think is the same through all endings, but like it's cool to see the branching paths. I think they had that like butterfly effect, right? That whole
Yeah,
meme of
yeah.
like, oh, if you do this, it does that, which they hyped up as this brand new thing, which it's like that's every choice-based game, but
Pretty
it's
much.
cool. But definitely something I would be open to is like going through those, either playing and or watching you play those games. It's just fun. Fun.
Yeah.
I think it'd be super fun. It's essentially a movie that you get to
Right.
watch. I've never heard anything about the Midan one though. I know it
Uh,
has to do with. I know you start on like a plane or something. Because I watched like the first playthrough of someone's.
no, you're on a boat in that one.
Is it a boat? You're on a metal thing,
You're on a
and
boat
it's like
on
World
Man of
War
Medan.
II or something, and then
Oh, yeah, the World War II part is like the
prequel.
very beginning.
It's yeah.
It's like
Isn't it like a this happened 40 years ago?
basically,
Yeah, I
and then
figured.
it goes back to like present times, and it's
Yeah,
like here's your actual cast of characters.
yeah, I figured. But yeah, that's all I've heard of that one. And then the most recent one, I heard people were like thought it's less scary and more funny, which I think I watched a clip of a guy who was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is this?"
Mm.
Which could be really funny. So
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah, that sounds so much fun. Like I love horror games alone. That's great, but like playing a horror game and then sitting there and joking about it, like when we were
Yeah,
doing the Outlast shit, like that is so fun. It's just like taking the piss. I'm British now, taking the piss with the fucking game. Um,
yeah,
Banter about it. It's really really fun. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
More content.
More content. Content
Excited.
goblin. I'm a
Get
content.
excited, my cult followers. We got more content on the way.
My cult followers, we got some stuff on the line. So, just so we don't go on another tangent, right?
Right.
I think it's about time. It's not a game. I can't say we're gaming now. It's a
Okay.
cooperative experience.
Right.
Use finger to pull. It's a cooperative experience. You go and
Okay.
poking your pole over there. Uh, oh, stop! Oh my god.
All right. Anyway.
So I love the idea of like who would win in a fight, right?
Okay.
So I'm doing that with
Or with
I
I'm assuming with horror movie characters, villains.
no with Marvel superheroes. Yes, with with horror
Listen,
movie
fuck it.
people.
You want to debate Iron Man versus Thor? I'm down.
I am down too, but that's not thematic, so we're not going to
All
do
right.
that. I have
Do that
four
in
of them laid
metaphor.
out. Let's try not to go too hard. I'm not going. So it's more of a I don't pick a side or you don't pick a side. It's more of a we kind of like we will inevitably fall into our sides and or agree after we hear it. I
Okay.
obviously already have heard it. Like I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm this one and you're that one. Let's debate. Like I'm not going to force
Right.
you to pick one that you don't want.
Right.
So the first option, and I pick stuff that people don't usually do.
Right.
Okay. So the first one, Jason from Friday the 13th.
Jason
Everyone
Voorhees.
knows him, Hoppy Maga Masking thing.
Okay.
Versus the alien from the Alien series. One of them, not all of them. One of them.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
Which Jason?
Okay, I don't know enough about Jason lore,
All right.
so
I'll break down some Jason how
let's.
why this matters.
I
Okay.
know why it matters because of multiple reasons
Hmm.
and timelines and shit. Also, like there's like iterations of him where he's a supernatural being. Um, let's just say it's the original. So like the first iteration of Jason, and then the movies that are all canonical to that first iteration. So Halloween 2, I think, is where, or not Halloween. Sorry, is it Halloween? No. What is it? I'm literally goo brain right now. Friday the 13th 2, which is I believe the
Yeah.
first appearance of him, where he's got the bag on his
Yeah.
head, and onwards that canonical bit where it ends is where it ends. So
Okay.
if it ends at the one where he's in space, so be it. So
That is the one where it
well,
ends.
there we go. So let's say Space Jason with the cool
Well,
metal
kind of.
mask versus Alien, which makes sense.
Okay.
Aliens are in
Yeah. Yeah.
space. Jason's in space. He's fighting it. Who would win?
Yeah. If we're doing Jason X, Jason in space, that Jason versus Alien, that Jason would fuck the alien up. It's the only iteration of Jason that I believe could actually win this fight. but it absolutely would because the dude is indestructible. He at the end of Jason X, for those who are unaware, he's floating in space towards like this escape pod, and this space marine guy intercepts him and rides him down like an asteroid onto
Mm-hmm.
Earth,
Yep.
where he gets ignited into fire, re-entering the atmosphere, crash lands onto Earth, and it's implied at the end that he's still fine.
Yeah.
Uh, so that Jason would absolutely beat the xenomorph from Alien
Mm-hmm.
because even though that alien is like super super powerful, super hard to defeat, especially because it has like the acid blood
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that.
Super strong, stealthy.
Yeah. I just don't think it could do anything to really put Jason down for good. Whereas you can kill the xenomorphs.
Yes.
You can't really kill that Jason.
I was debating doing Xenomorph Queen, but I feel like
Mm.
that wouldn't work given the size of the Queen.
Right.
Isn't the Queen like really fucking huge?
I believe so, yes.
And it's like, I was like, oh, then it's like a horde of them, and it's like that's not fair. I think the Xenomorph could kill Jason, but then he would
Mm.
do the thing where he like, I'm actually not dead, and then
Right.
in a battle of attrition, I agree with you. I think Jason is superior. If it was like the new iterations of Jason, where it's like some crazy guy in the woods or whatever,
Yeah.
then no, because
And
it's a
yeah, the
crazy guy in the
alien
woods.
xenomorph would absolutely win that.
Yeah, so we have to kind of go off of like Jason X Jason, where he's just fucking,
Right.
whatever he is. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I just know that
I
he's like unkillable.
It's because he gets destroyed. He gets blown to fucking bits. But then his like whatever remains of him lands on this space like table like medical bay type thing, and his body gets replaced by like nanobites.
Mm-hmm.
He's like basically indestructible after that point. I think
Jesus.
the most interesting fight, if we're gonna try to make it as even as possible, is Jason actually between like part 6 and probably just like part 6 Jason, I guess, because part 6 Jason is mortal, but he's still supernatural. Like he can teleport, he's still super strong. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that's closer, but I still will stand on the fact that Jason X will kill a xenomorph. Any other version of Jason would get their shit kicked in.
Okay. That I honestly agree. I didn't think about when I wrote this down like the freaking multiple iterations of
Yeah.
they changed how he works like multiple times.
Yeah.
I was thinking like tradition like I was honestly my image was like Jason versus Freddy Krueger, like that movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I guess he got beat up a couple times. Like, yeah, no, if we're going off like the canon of the first canonical bit, no, yeah, eventually he would become like an unkillable god. So
Right.
yeah, pretty. There we go.
It's a fun topic,
Yeah,
even though it's not close.
yeah. I feel like I wanted to pick like you never hear that. Like you hear like
Right.
Jason
Yeah.
versus Freddy, but never like those don't tend to mix, which because they're
Yeah.
different themes. The next one I think is really good in my opinion,
All right.
and
Let's hear it.
that's who would win in a fight: the Predator from
Okay.
Predator,
Right.
like a normal Predator, not like I don't know if there's like super like just Predator,
Okay.
versus the Thing from the Thing. That I feel like that's a good one. I think
That's such an interesting
because
dilemma.
the Thing, the Predator is a super. It is born to hunt and kill aliens,
Right.
and the Thing is a really hard to kill alien.
Well,
He's an alien, right?
yes, he's an
Yes.
alien entity.
Yes.
I don't think he would be that hard to kill from the predator though, because his whole thing is like he mimics other life forms,
Yes.
and that's how he can work into groups and kill groups of people,
Mhm.
because humans aren't inherently let's just kill everyone to make sure we get it. But I feel like the predator would have that mindset of just kill whatever.
Let me spice it up.
Okay.
Because if it was one on one, I feel like it's kind of hard. The Thing is not a one on one fighter, right?
Right. Yeah.
There's only one thing, so
Well, until it starts
yeah. But
spreading.
even then, yeah. let's
Yeah.
say the predator is on a hunting mission on Earth,
Okay.
and he's with 3 or 4 other predators,
Right.
and without their knowledge, one of them is taken over by the thing. Who would
Right.
win, the predators or the thing?
Oh,
Can the thing appear on heat vision? Is the thing warm? It's alive, so it would be, right?
I don't know.
It doesn't need warmth to live, though.
No, because it hibernated in like the Antarctic, like underground.
Yeah.
And actually, warmth is like a weakness of it. That's how you kill it. You burn it.
Mm.
So I honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's a life form.
And another question: how closely do the predators know each other? Like, do they like have like you're acting a bit different today? Like, is that a thing that they do? And I
Yeah,
know that they would
I
definitely not come up
totally-
with the blood thing where they were like looking at it through the thing.
yeah,
They wouldn't come up with that because
no.
that's beyond their scope.
Um,
I
I
think the
don't.
thing would win.
I also think the thing would win, and I think I don't think the so like the thing is not. I don't know. It doesn't fit normal anatomy. Obviously, there's a whole theory that like at the end of a so at the end of the thing, there's what's the main dude's name? Kurt Russell, his character, and McCready, and there's the one other guy, and they're sitting there, and like the whole big thing is like, ooh, one of them is the thing, one of them could be the thing,
Hmm.
and there's a common theory because they're sitting there, and McCready is like blowing out like puffs of smoke because it's so cold, like you can see his breath, right?
Yeah, the other dude isn't, right?
And the other dude isn't. So it's the theory is that like he's not putting off heat. So I don't think he would show up on a heat signature.
So I guess they could see like, hey, this guy's not warm.
But I also think they're not going to interpret him as like a if they're in a hunting party, they're not going to like look at him and be like would they I don't think they would even use their heat vision. Is that how they just look normally? Is heat
No,
vision?
I think they toggle it.
Okay, if they toggle it, I think the thing still wins because I think as soon as the thing assimilates the predator, he can just gank the other two or however many there are
Hmm.
without them being ready for it.
The
I think the
moment of
thing wins.
truth is when the thing attacks. If they could hold
Right,
off the attack, because the thing is
right.
not like it's not gonna like beam you or anything, right? It has to like physically get you, and
Yeah.
then inevitably, I don't know, touch you, and then you like sink into it and it becomes you. But it's gross.
It is
Uh,
gross.
the question is like, when that moment happens, can the predator fend it off? They have fire. The predators do have fire. I believe they have like
Right,
plasma cannons, which
right.
is fire, not literally, but it's hot.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the thing I don't think they have the ability to have the social skills. I don't think predators have the social skills to think this guy's acting off today. I don't think they
Right.
would notice that, so they wouldn't think to like
It
scam people.
would absolutely require 'cause if there are multiple of them, the thing would have to have the wherewithal to just murder them before worrying about assimilating them
Hmm.
because while he's assimilating, he cannot defend himself.
Yes.
That's like a thing in the thing movie as one of the guys is getting assimilated, he's just like a ball of goo until he's finally assimilated and they could just get a free kill on him. If he tries to assimilate one and the other one realizes that, then yeah, the predator's gonna finish him off.
It
So
depends on, yeah, is the thing
it's an
intelligent? And if it is intelligent, is it intelligent enough to plan out how it does things? Because if it's like an animal, because it came on a, if you go by like the new movie that like is like the prequel, I think they found like a spaceship,
yeah.
which imply.
Well,
But did the thing build the spaceship?
no, that was in the first. There's like
Was it in the first?
spaceship. Yeah, there's a spaceship in the first.
It mixes together in my brain because
Yeah,
I've seen them both.
he's a space entity that crash landed on Earth.
Did he assimilate the thing piloting the spaceship? Because when he assimilates it, he gets their knowledge, so he can blend in. You know how he can
Right,
be like, "What do you mean? I'm not the monster." It's like,
right.
well, no, you are. So like,
So
Is
was
it
he
really
like a
intelligent?
parasite that assimilated the pilot, or
Yeah,
was he a species that could pilot the thing
yeah.
naturally?
Like, does it even have an original form? Does it start as a single
Ooh,
cell organism?
ooh.
Think about it.
Now we're talking. Now we're
And
coming up
it
with stuff.
changes everything because if it has an original form and it flies a spaceship, it's intelligent enough for space travel. It could definitely come up with the idea, kill the predators before they recognize me, before I even consider a simulation. But if
Right.
it is a brainless monster that assimilated a being that can fly the spaceship and flew via that, and it doesn't know of the predator's culture or anything because it hasn't assimilated any of it, and then it does, and it only knows what that one knows. Like, it seems like it would be harder if it wasn't like having its own, if it didn't have an internal monologue. Getting
Sorry,
hot in
it is
there?
8,000 degrees up here, and I can't turn my fan, or else my mic will just be a
Yeah,
churning sound the entire time.
understandable. I don't know if you heard
Holy
what I
shit.
said, but the question is, does it have an internal monologue and
Yeah, no,
sentience?
I heard most of that. And the answer is, even though I feel like you're catching me here, catching me red-handed, because I said The Thing was my favorite movie earlier in the episode, and I'm getting exposed as a fake fan because I have no fucking clue.
I don't think anyone knows. There's no like external media of the thing, right? It's just two
Yeah.
movies.
Well, it's based off of a very old like story or movie or some
Yeah,
shit.
but
And then
the one
yeah,
we know, right?
right. I have yeah. I
I
don't know.
I
That's
think
interesting.
I think it's hard. It all
I'm
depends on if the thing is smart or not.
yeah.
If it's
I'm putting
smart, the thing. If it's dumb, the predators. It
I'm still
seemed
putting
dumb
my
in
mind
the
up.
movies. It seemed dumb. It would just be caught doing dumb shit.
Sometimes, but it also like the diabetes guy
Hmm.
was like super acting like normal for a really long time,
Yeah.
and then it was revealed he's actually assimilated.
Hmm.
Like he tricked him good.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, cheetahs are born with the ability to know to be stealthy when they hunt. It's like it could just be instinct, though. So yeah.
So yeah, tons of variables, but I'm still taking The Thing. I think The Thing could make it work.
Uh, I'm gonna go predator solely because I think I'm leaning toward the thing not being, I guess, intelligent enough to
Right.
not mess up.
Right.
Because he messed up during humans, and humans are definitely inferior to predators. So,
True.
um, okay, next one: Michael Myers versus Freddy Krueger, and I'm talking about not the new Michael Myers, where it's like he's normal, like old Michael Myers, the old like where he just slowly, progressively gets even more bizarre with how he's able to like withstand things and such.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we talking? Huh.
This one I was interested in because I've never seen him even compared to anyone else, Michael Myers, in any of capacity.
Right. Um.
He's very similar to Jason
Right.
in how he
Yeah.
functions. Hmm.
Whew, this one's tough. I don't know if Michael ever sleeps. So
Yeah.
I don't know if Freddy would ever have a situation where he has the advantage.
The real is he
And
supernatural the same
Freddy
way
got, Freddy got messed up by Jason in Freddy versus Jason.
he did? He did.
Well, kind of. I think Freddy won, and then the lady, the main protagonist, kind of interfered, and then that led to Freddy's death.
Hmm.
Freddy's obviously smarter
Yes. Yes, for sure.
because he's kind of conniving,
Yeah, he's like
and then
he mischief is his thing.
yeah, and Michael Myers is just kind of this,
Force.
just
He's the
yeah,
shape.
just force of evil, the shape. Um, ooh, that's tough.
I gotta say though,
I'm gonna give it to Freddy. You gotta say? Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
want to say the shape is the coolest nickname or whatever.
It is, yeah,
The shape, because he's like this. He's the embodiment of like evil.
yeah,
I also think Freddy solely because Michael Myers seems to be just a mindless force. of destruction. And if he can sleep or be put to sleep, like in how like Jason is like this supernatural figure, but even he was like put to sleep in that movie.
Mhm.
I've seen that movie, by the way. So I think it's a similar situation where at the end of the day, I think he can get put to sleep via whatever.
Mhm.
And that would be the end of him because at the like you can't beat Freddy in Dreamland, right? That's like his thing.
Right.
So yeah, I'd have to agree, Freddy, but I do like the idea of thinking about it. It's like it's very similar, yet I think slightly different than the Jason one because Michael Myers has less rules, less
Yeah.
pre-established
Yeah.
abilities and rules, so he's more of a mystery. Like, how does he function? Does he teleport, or is he just real? Does he like, okay, the camera's off me, you just book it? Because in like the first movie, he could realistically like book it. So like, yeah, so that's a cool one I came up with there. I'm pretty proud of myself. You could say I'm a MLG gamer with a good brain.
It, it's an interesting one. I'm glad you presented like those are. I think all three of those ones we just talked about are very different than what you're typically gonna get. So that's fun
Yeah, this
and
last
new.
one might actually be another doozy.
All
Um,
right.
I won't try to linger on it too long, but Pennywise versus Pinhead. Both are less physical, like beings, and more. Well, I mean, they both physically exist, but they don't do the traditional hunt you down and kill you, right?
Right.
And they're both kind of like forces more than beings. So this one's I think is genuinely difficult, and if I'm for my end, I cannot pick. I'm just gonna go Pennywise. I'm just gonna throw it in the air. Pennywise
No,
is my
I
pick.
think if it's I think there's no way Pennywise can win because he feeds off of fear, and
He
Pinhead isn't
does,
scared of anything.
yeah, because he's like a demon or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. He
But
loves pain and suffering and all that shit. He's super. I
then you
I
have
don't
to
think.
like, can Pennywise can Pinhead does Pinhead do anything? Like, can he kill you?
Oh, I think he.
I don't know. I've not delved
I've
into
s- I saw
those movies.
Hellraiser. I saw the first Hellraiser a long time ago, and I don't remember a whole lot. But I think if Pinhead can do anything, it's uh it's a guaranteed win for him because Pennywise can't he can't fight him because even against like the Losers Club, like even as strong as he got, the moment they didn't fear him, he was just weak again.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't think Pennywise can win this one.
I really forgot that he was like, if you don't fear him, he's literally useless. And I
Yeah,
also forgot that Pinhead is like a demon. I do
yeah,
know that both of them are practically they're less monsters and more like a force of nature that follows a set of rules. Like the Pinhead, if you like touch his magic box, right?
right,
And Pennywise is you just live in that town. Tough luck, he's gonna eat your kids. So
probably.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to be that guy who's like, "Oh, you convinced me," but like, you convinced me. I don't think Pinhead can
Yeah,
get beat in that scenario because he is more otherworldly, and you can't make a demon scared unless Pennywise somehow pops off with his fear game.
right.
Like, but yeah, I'm gonna have to agree, probably Pinhead. But I'm also proud of that one because I was like, "Oh, no one ever brings Pinhead into this stuff."
That's interesting.
So yeah. Well, I think we're gonna have to start winding down. We're reaching lengths that we never usually reach, which is we are compensating for our previous week, which was a little shorter. We kind of started off a rough start, so we cut a bit out. But um, yeah, I had a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
really
it's awesome.
enjoyed putting you through my gauntlet of weird quizzes and topics and other such things. I didn't think the who would win a fight ones would be as engaging as they were, but
Yeah, those were good. I really appreciate all the effort you went into bringing good topics, good games, And I appreciate you guys if you watched the full video. Love you. I mean, real troopers here. Uh, thank you so much for that. If you made it this far, join the cult. Subscribe.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, we're starting a cult. You're all invited.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're in the inner circle too.
you're
Of
in the inner
course.
circle, of course, of course. And you get a free pass to Mars when I become king of Mars.
Of course. First
Thank you so
Mars
much for
colony.
watching. Uh, do you have any last words here, Drew?
Have a happy Halloween. Be safe out there and do whatever you do for Halloween and do it fun.
Hell yeah.
Good
Deuces.
night. Deuces.